The Cold Open. On April 5th, 1923, at precisely 1:55 in the morning, the city of Cairo vanished into darkness. A total blackout. No storm, no explanation. The entire grid simply failed. At that exact moment, in the plush, mosquito-netted room of the Continental Hotel, a wealthy British lord named George Herbert, the Earl of Carnarvon, took his final ragged breath. He had been burning with a fever so high his skin felt like desert stone. His last word was a whisper, lost in the thick Egyptian air. But the strangest part of this night didn't happen in Cairo. It happened thousands of miles away, across the sea, in the cold English countryside. Lord Carnarvon had a pet dog. Her name was Susie. At the precise moment the lights went out in Cairo, Susie, who had been sleeping peacefully by the fire, threw back her head and let out a scream that curdled the blood of everyone in the house. And then, just like her master, she dropped dead. What connects a blackout, a dying aristocrat, and a screaming dog? The answer was written on the wall of a 3,000-year-old grave, a warning that had been sealed in darkness before the birth of Christ. It read, "Death shall come on swift wings to him that toucheth the tomb of the Pharaoh." Over the next 6 years, 22 people connected to that grave would die. A radiologist collapsed mid-examination. The body count begins. Days after the discovery, before the world even knew about the gold, a strange thing happened at Carter's house in Luxor. He had a pet canary, a beautiful golden bird that sang like a good luck charm. One afternoon, his assistant heard a commotion from the birdcage. When he looked inside, he froze. A cobra was inside the cage, and Carter's golden canary was hanging from its jaws. This wasn't just a snake eating a pet. In ancient Egypt, the cobra, the uraeus, was the symbol of the pharaoh's divine wrath. It sits on the forehead of every king's crown, ready to spit venom at intruders. The local workers didn't see a random snake. They saw the king's protector sending a message. And then, the messages got louder. A few months later, Lord Carnarvon was shaving in his hotel room. A mosquito had bitten his cheek. Annoyed, he nicked the bite with his razor blade. In the sweltering Egyptian summer, an infection bloomed like wildfire. Pneumonia set in. And on April 5th, at the Continental Hotel, Lord Carnarvon died. But here's where the story turns from a medical tragedy into something else entirely. 12 days before Carnarvon died, a famous novelist named Marie Corelli had published a letter in the newspaper warning him. She claimed she had a rare ancient book that said, "Anyone who enters a sealed grave shall be punished most severely." And the moment he died, the power grid in Cairo failed, and the dog in England screamed and died. This was a media goldmine. So Arthur Conan Doyle, the man who invented the ultra-logical Sherlock Holmes, went on record saying the death was caused by an evil... So the curse was a lie. But here is the beautiful, incredible irony of this entire story. The ancient Egyptians believed that you die twice. First, when your heart stops. And second, when the last person on earth speaks your name. Tutankhamun was a frail, forgotten boy. He had a club foot, he needed a cane to walk. He died at 19 and was buried in a hurry. The pharaohs who came after him hated his family so much they chiseled his name off every wall in Egypt. They wanted him to vanish into the void of history. For 3,000 years, they succeeded. Then, a failed painter with a brush and a stubborn heart scraped away the sand. Howard Carter didn't just find a tomb. He found a name. Today, Tutankhamun is the most famous pharaoh who ever lived. Millions walk past his golden mask every year. Millions more watch videos just like this one. His name is spoken more in a single day than it was in the 3,000 years he lay in darkness. There was no curse in that tomb. There was only the desperate human need to be remembered. Howard Carter gave Tutankhamun the one thing the ancient spells and amulets couldn't provide: mortality. Because of that, the boy king is still very much alive.